Good morning, KW Synergy. It's your Market Center Technician Thomas here, and today we are going into another episode of our Command Core Concept Series. Today we're going to be looking at our websites that we have through KW Command. Whenever you become an agent with KW, you get, along with your Keller Cloud information like Command and Connect, you get your own customizable KW website. You can change multiple things on it, including the URL, some of the data on the pages, and you also have access through our consumer tab to make your own landing pages and standalone web pages, which are great for several different things. So this is going to be part one of the website's video. Part one is going to include your agent site, how we can make and update web pages and stuff like that, and how this website can be used to funnel into your database, your lead database. So to get started, we are here on our homepage in Command. We want to come over here, and as always, you can always click on the red KW if you ever get lost as to which tab I'm in. We're going to come down to our Consumer tab today at the very bottom. Consumer is the applet that lets us edit all of our web pages in Command. So we're going to go down to there. When we get here, we're going to see an overview of what's on our agent site right now. It's also going to tell us that we can see our agent configured site here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up so that way we can kind of keep track of the changes we're making because they show up on here once we load in. So here's what your website looks like when you just start off. We have some images scrolling through in the background. There's a search bar here, kind of like a Zillow or a Realtor.com style search bar where we can search county, city, neighborhood, address. We can look for houses. There's some hero text here that's supposed to inspire people to use said box. And if we go ahead and scroll down a little bit, we've got featured listings that we can put in here. We can change and edit all of these, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And we've also got contact info where we can go ahead and enter in our full name, and then email address and phone number, and that information is going to go straight into your lead database, folks. So, and then at the bottom, there's also some legal information, just like you see on most websites. So, back over here, though, this is where we can see some of the web pages that we have behind that. So we have an About Me, an About Us, and a Contact Us web page already made. You should already have these set up. If you don't, that's fine. That just means we're going to have to make our pages from scratch, which is totally fine. We're going to go over that here in a minute. Back on our website, those pages show up down here by your agent up here in the corner. If we drop down that menu, we see Keller Williams Adling, should say Synergy, but this is an older website, an About Me page, and then a Contact Us page. Going through each of those, we see that there is already a pre-made kind of bio about your KW Synergy brokerage. And at the bottom, as always, there's going to be a contact form for people to fill out. The About Me, it's going to auto-load from your marketing profile. This should be your picture. I'm not sure why it's not here, but it's going to be an About Me. This is Dolores, whose account I'm using. This is her title. That should say her own name, but I only recently changed it, so her marketing profile hasn't caught up yet. And it's going to say your bio here, and then it's going to give contact information. And then finally, if there's just a Contact Us, there's Contact Us page right here. The whole point of the website is to try and capture some of those people who are looking online and funnel them directly into your lead database that you can then be using. 96% of home buyers or home sellers look online at some point during the home buying and selling process. So if we can capture some of that, then we can use that to boost our lead database and we can get more deals out of that. And that is the real end goal here. But this is all cut and copy. Everybody's got one like this. So let's see what we can do about making our own. We're going to come back to the Command tab here. And what we're going to want to do is up at the top right, we're going to hit Create New Page. All right. It's going to ask us which one do we want to do on my on my agent site or on my landing page. We're going to do agent site. This is going to show up on that website we were just on. If we select this one, it's going to be standalone that we need to send a link out to, and anybody with the link can use it. This will be what we look into in part 2 of this video. Right now, we're going to go to on my agent site. We're going to hit create page, and it's going to load us into the web page editor. Now, This might look a little familiar when we get down into the designs tab and stuff like that, This format here is pretty standard for anything whenever you create something in Keller Williams. It probably also will look a little bit familiar once we get into smart plans, because this is really where you have what you're making over here on the left side of the screen and what you're using to make it over on the right side of the screen. This is the Keller Williams Builder formula. Up here, we're going to name it. This one is going to be, we're going to make this a testimonials list, because we want people to see what we have as far as what people say about us. Okay, so we want people to be giving us feedback. So we're going to make that what this page is. We're going to make this a capture form. So we're going to say review page for the name. And then what we're going to want to do once we can name it, we can come over here to the left where it says widgets. A widget is just any app that's already got pre-made functions, basically. So we're going to grab the testimonial capture form here. We're going to drag it over. And you can see that it kind of shows up gray. And if we click off of it, it says up here in the corner, widget not configured below my mouse right there. That's because we have the widgets like this don't really have any data to pre-pull from our marketing profile. They're kind of cut and copy, so we need to go in and edit that just a little bit ourselves. In order to do that, we're going to come down to the bottom right and hit configure widgets. When we do that, it's going to give us a list of what widgets we need to do. If you're looking at this grayed out stuff and you're fine with it saying headline tags, thank you for being a valid client, all we have to do is hit done. All we have to do is go in, hit save and apply, and that's going to be what it says. But if we don't want that, what we want to do is we want to put in the team name. So let's pretend we have a team here. We're going to give it a new headline text. We're going to say, how would you rate us? And we're going to give us a description. This description's pretty good, the pre-made one. But if you're somebody who's good with words and you want to make it a little more personal, absolutely edit this description a little bit. Review headline, how would you rate your experience? We are not Royals Realtors. So we're going to say, how satisfied are you with your service? With our service. That's a better one. Placeholder text is going to just be how was your experience, and then once we hit save and apply, this is going to show up. How would you rate us? Thank you for being a valued client. And they're going to enter their first name, last name, their address, client sense. The address is not necessary, but the client sense is. And then we're going to write in the review, would you recommend the Tom Burns team? Yes, I would. No, I would not. And then it's going to allow them to preview their testimonial here. Once we have all this looking the way we want to, we're going to hit save and apply down here. And once that's saved and applied, it's good. This widget with the little green check mark next to it now is ready to go. But let's say, this is pretty just boring to just have this on a web page, and there's always going to be that contact form at the bottom, but we want to remind them whose website they're on, right? So why don't we go ahead and we grab an agent profile and pull it up here too. That's going to automatically pull in from the marketing profile. It shows up like this now because I added it back in after changes were made. Before, where it said KW instead of her picture and it said Bianca down here still, that was because I had edited her marketing profile before I started this video, and the changes hadn't been made to the site yet. You need to go in and edit the widgets to make those changes happen. But that's all right. We don't want this to be at the top. We want to just remind them who we're working with. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab it, and we're going to grab it here, and a green line is going to appear there. That green line is where the top border of the widget is. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drag it down here, and if we scroll down, we'll see that that green line has jumped down here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. And if we go ahead and release that, it's going to leave it exactly where it was because I forgot to move it where it actually needs to go. My apologies, folks. We're going to grab it. We're going to drag it all the way down to below that. You could see it kind of transferred across the screen there. Blink and you'll miss it. We drop it down there. Now what happens is we've got how would you rate us, and we've got the marketing profile down here. So that is how we would do that. And you can also configure the marketing profile if you don't like what it says. We can come back to here if you want to use a different headshot for whatever reason. We can do that. If you want the page title to be different, so we could say, you know, about your agent, right? Role and company, she's an administrative assistant. About Dolores, we can change her bio to anything we want here. Contact title, emails, all of this. So this is how we make a web page. You can use any of these widgets. Most of them need to be configured. We can also just, if we want to, it's not going to look pretty or flush, but we can just drag in images into here as well. And if we just want to drag and upload an image right here, it's going to upload. Now, notice when we're looking at this box though, that, I don't know why I dragged so many images in, I only wanted the one. That's interesting. When we drag this image in, do you see how it's not centered and that it's off kilter massively? It's going to look like that on the finished web page. So just keep that in mind whenever you're using it. That if we're putting an image on there, it's not going to be perfectly centered, right? I don't know why it gave us all of these images. It's so weird. We're going to go ahead, we're going to save changes now. And once we hit save changes up here in the top right, it's going to say, would you like to continue to site and app settings to publish your page? We're going to hit yes. This is where we can edit what goes into and on our KW page. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna hit here, add page. We've already got the 3 pages here that we had already seen prior, so we're gonna hit add page here. It's gonna ask us which page we want to use, which one of the ones we just made. We're gonna use a review page that we just made. That's why it's important to name it right there. Once we make that, it's going to ask us page title. This is going to be what shows up for people to click on. So for this, we're going to want to say, leave us a review. The URL slug is not important. It just needs to be unique. It gives us a little preview of what it's going to look like here. So for this page, we can just make it review. Okay. SEO description. This means search engine optimization. This is where the high techie stuff comes into the web pages. What we need for an SEO description is any keywords that when people Google search them or Yahoo search them or any search engine, that search engine is going to see those keywords and go, this is something that person's looking for. I'm going to show it to them. So for this, we're going to say realtor. We're going to say review. We're going to say Abilene because that's the market that we're in. We're going to say real estate, and I'm giving all of these capitals so that way the engine knows to grab them. Okay. Now once we have you can plug in as many characters into here as you want. You can make the SEO description. I think there is a character limit, but you can type in quite a few words. You can type in a full sentence if you like, if you have a slogan, or if you want to just keep using random phrases and words one after the other, just so long as the SEO is going to flag that and grab it. So we're going to go ahead and hit save on this. Settings were updated successfully. So now if we come back to our website up at the top and we go ahead and we hit the refresh, we look down here, we now have a leave us a review tab, and we go on there and we see it's exactly how we made it. Now, here's where part 2 of this training of this testimonial capture usually comes in, all right? So let's go ahead and say that we helped Miss Jane Smith, who's been a client with us since 2009. She was 5-star satisfied, and she said that Dolores was amazing, would use her again in a heartbeat. So, how would you recommend the Tom Burns team? Yes, I would is automatically selected, but you can't. But your people can select. No, I would not. It's going to ask you to preview the testimonial. This is what it's going to look like. Jane Smith, client since 2009. Dolores was amazing. Would use her again in a heartbeat. 5 stars. We're going to hit submit. Okay, your information has been submitted. That's all that your clients are going to see. However, on our side, if we come back here, we're going to go back to the agent site pages, make a new page again on our agent site as usual. And we pull in our testimonials list widget now over here on the left, the testimonials list. We're going to configure the widget, and we're going to go ahead to the testimonials list. We see now that Jane S., her testimonial that she put in shows up here. So, agents, if you have Google reviews, if you have Realtor.com reviews, anything like that, it's not unethical for you to take those reviews, type them into your own testimonial review page, and put them on your website. That's not really a bad thing. You're showing off what people say about you. You're just doing the work of transferring it over. If that irks you and you don't want to be moving people's reviews, you don't want to be fake typing reviews in, even though it's not fake, it's just transferring what other people said, you can definitely send this link to your past clients and get them to review you again. That is always an option. And the reviews are going to show up here just like this. So, we're going to say client details, first name, last initial, client since. We always have our headlines, so this is going to be what people say. Intro text is going to say, let's make it funny. You're going to say, not sold on our quality. We're going to say something like, hear what our satisfied customers have to say. All right. Save and apply. What people say, not sold on our quality. Here's Jane S.'s testimonial. And there we go. Now we have a list that we can pull up. And there's a different kind of list. There's a different kind of widget that we can do as well. A list is just going to be, I think 10 or so testimonials is the max you can put in there. But if we put in the testimonial carousel, and then we configure, come on, testimonials carousel. It might only, oh, no, there it is. So, testimonials carousel, configure widgets. We're going to go ahead and use this one. This one's going to say from our clients. Save and apply. If we had more, this is now going to rotate through all of them instead of just listed downwards, right? So this would be good for if we were making about our team page. We would go ahead and we drop a company profile above this. And then as they're scrolling down, reading through about our team, we're going to see from our clients, and this is going to scroll through. So it's a nice little way to show people what your people say about you without using up too much space in your web page. This is pretty much how you run your KW website. This is how you customize it. There's a few more options I'll get to in a second, but this is definitely something that you can use. If you want to play with this, you cannot break this. Go ahead and put stuff in. If it's not working or if it's pulling information out of nowhere, you can always configure the widgets and type in whatever you want to type in. And if you just don't have time to fill in section 1 heading and section 1 and section 2 heading and section 2, definitely you can either copy paste just words that work, or you can always get in touch with our leadership staff such as myself, and we can see about getting somebody to write out your web page for you. That's probably going to be myself. This is something that I've been doing for a few agents, so this is always an option for you guys if you're not either a fan of writing about yourself or if you're not interested in putting the time aside to do this. Either way, we can do this for you. So, that is how we do this. Now, back to this page, our agent site pages, where we were putting pages onto our website, is the site and app settings up here. So if we ever need to get back there, we can go to this, site and app settings. This is where we see more of the basic functions and more of the stuff that we can have a really limited customization over for our website, okay? So the agent site hero text, that's this text that shows up right here when we first come into the website, okay? So if we have a slogan or if we have a phrase that catches people's eyes, like start your next adventure. I like saying that life is an adventure. I like spelling adventure right the first time as well. Start your next adventure. When we save this, that's going to change. We also have photos here that are preloaded for us. A nice kid going on his way to basketball, some nice colorful roofs, a very colorful house. It's a nice thick green shrubbery. It's 2 people sitting on the steps with their dog in front of some brownstones, and then just a nice corner subdivision. With maybe the exception of this one and this one, I can personally say that none of these pictures look like anywhere in Abilene or San Angelo or Brownwood. And that's not what we want. Part of what we want to do to brand ourselves on this website is we want to make ourselves look local. And so what you can do is you can go around town, some of your best listings, if you have any good pictures of them, anything like that, you can put these pictures in here. We just have to delete a few of them, and then the upload button becomes available. And we can upload pictures from around whichever city you're working in, whether that's San Angelo, Abilene, Brownwood, wherever. You can make it look local, and that's going to make people feel a little bit warmer to your site, because they're going to show up and they're going to go, oh, this is familiar. This is someone I want to work with. I know they're here and that they're in my city. They're in my backyard. They're my neighbor. I want to work with them. Okay? Down here below that, once we have our pictures and our hero text ready, we have registration. This is huge, people. Okay? Registration is what's going to prompt us, or going to prompt our clients and our leads to actually put their names into our database. It automatically defaults to unrestricted. This means that people can come to this website, type all they want, and they're never going to need to input their names and make sure that their information goes into your database, okay? However, what we want to do is we want to pick one of these 10 properties or 2 properties. That's what I recommend. 10 properties means they can search and look at 10 properties before they're prompted to input their information. And it's just like a newspaper article. I'm sure that we've all been, reading a newspaper article, and all of a sudden it says, to read further, you must have a free account with us. It's basically the same thing, where we're just saying you get 2 properties, and then on your 3rd property, you need to register an account with us. And it's going to ask them politely. It's not going to be, hey, register or get out. It's going to say, hey, would you like to be helped by an agent? Something like that. We also have virtual tours and some preferences down here. Like, we can enable our Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered, and display neighborhoods on the agent site. That's our front page, basically. Okay? Our URLs, this is where we can change whatever it says. So this one says BD Ramos. We're going to get rid of the B because she goes by Dolores. So it's now dramos.kw.com. We can change this to anything you want. If it's a team name, if it's your slogan again, if it's anything like that, that just has to be unique from any other .kw.com. And there's ways you can do that by like adding in spaces, dashes, things like that. We have featured listings where you can actually, that's what we were looking at earlier, where it says look at these, and then we can select the listing that we have. If you get permission from somebody else, like I've done with Miss Becky Covid here, we can show off other people's listings, but you can also mainly show off your own is the purpose of that. The easiest way to do that is we just hit, I don't have any, so we're going to hit all. And then let's see, we want to show off good old 770 Lazio Circle from, I have no idea where this is, DR Horton Real Estate. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and select that. We're going to hit done. And it's not just set to KW listings either. These are all listings. DeBerry, Florida. So this is going to show up on our website now as a property in Florida that we're featuring. Okay? Over on theme, this is just going to show us red, dark. That's really just aesthetic based. And then here at the very end, our agent site pages are what we were looking at before, where we added our leave us a review. So that is the general overview of the agent web pages. You guys can get in there and play around with that, do whatever you want. You cannot break it. If you create a site and you're like, ugh, that's ugly. Well, firstly, you don't have to add it at the agent site pages. And if you don't like it, like let's say I don't like this review page anymore, we just come up here, we hit this, delete it. It's going to warn us that it's connected to our agent site. Are we sure we want to delete it? I'm going to guess, it's not working for me. Delete page from the site, and no harm, no foul. It's gone. We haven't broken anything. It's just that easy to get rid of. So, as always, folks, let me know in the comments of this video or on the Facebook what you guys want to see next in the next video. We're probably going to do a part 2 next, but after that, I'm open to suggestions about where we go next on our command adventure. Keep an eye out as well. We're going to be doing some command tips and tricks. I'm going to be showing off a very, very cool smart plan that we have here for those of you that are a little bit more advanced into command than beginners would be. So keep an ear out for that. I look forward to hearing from you all soon, and have a great day.